Alrighty, so there was a small issue with the recording, so I'm gonna have to do this all over again. I had finished everything inside the bank. The only things I had left was the stealing the work of art, which that brought a whole another issue. Hopefully it was just a random bug and not permanent. We'll see when we get there. And then leaving the entire mission. That's the only thing I had left. So I'd done everything inside the bank. And just outside the bank. So for example, I don't have to go down that chain because that's just an exit. There's nothing down there apart from some rats. Hopefully we should be able to do this in record time now. Correspondence between Auditors 4. Dear Auditor Wen, I received your note. I will come by this afternoon with my department's ledgers. Manager Atwater Will Jonas. Sincerely, Pilar Cepeda. Hopefully I said that correctly, because it also depends on where you're from, how you pronounce that. So hopefully I didn't ruin it. Correspondence between Auditors 2. Dear Auditor Wen, I received your note about account discrepancies and disciplined my department. I have reviewed our account records for this month and can personally attest that our calculations are accurate. Please contact me immediately should future discrepancies occur. Sincerely, Pilar Cepeda. Then we can go to the new area. There's the shock towers. I always want to call them Tesla coils, but that's clearly not what they are. Okay, there was no need to drag him off. He could... Calm down, game. Could have just left him sitting there. That was fine. There's some coins over here, yeah. You can also, for some reason, do this, and I'm not sure. Oh, let's not accidentally explode this. If you can take out the whale oil, why would you bother moving them? Unless the AI can put the whale oil back in. But if they can put the whale oil back in, surely they can also just pull the lever and make it go back out.
That must be the vault. It's some kind of fancy elevator. A control room can move the vault into two places. I need to find a way to move that thing, one way or another.
And also turn off this. Although it is lighting... Maybe it was because that thing went through. And if we got close to it, it would suddenly go...
I hate these things. Why are they smiling?
Excuse me? I'm not entirely sure what happened, but... Don't want you to accidentally get into harm's way. Where? Oh. Note to staff about Dr. Galvani. Attention all staff on shift. I'm sure you've noticed a pile of papers from Tivia. Well, we received an inordinate amount of letters from Dr. Galvani about the security and contents of his lockbox. He's only had it for 2 months, but his correspondence is endless. I assured him in our last formal letter that our security is unmatched, but the man won't be swayed. Apparently he's been burgled twice before and can't stand the idea of it happening again. I believe in the first or second, one of the games before this, that there's an achievement for robbing him twice, I think. But then he clearly wrote that the combination has always been the most important date in his life. Hint. Why go around telling people that? Doesn't he know how easy that is to figure out? The man's been robbed over and over and he still isn't taking this seriously. Anyway, if he writes to us again, just give him the standard form letter. There's nothing you can say that will make him feel at ease. His lockbox is as secure as everything else in this place. Shift Supervisor Doriaeus. I think this is for Wall of Light.
Esteemed patrons, don't be alarmed.
Correspondence between Auditors 1. Pilar, for the third time. The records from your department show discrepancies with the master account records. Such sloppy work is unacceptable at Michael's bank. If your accounting team can't properly reconcile the balances this month, then I'll assume that they're embezzling coin and will deduct it from their wages. Perhaps then they'll recall how to add a simple column. Sincerely, Tanwen. Correspondence between Auditors 5. Dear Pilar, I'm delighted we can all get together and determine the source of the discrepancies. I've dismissed the clerk responsible for the errors in our master accounts and replaced him with Lorca Gomez, as you recommended. Apologies again for the misunderstanding. I trust there are no hard feelings. I happily anticipate working closely with you in the future. Cordially, Tan. Correspondence between Auditors 3. Pilar, once again, your department's figures cannot be reconciled with our master accounts. I don't know how they taught up a column in Dabokva, but such persistent inaccuracy will not fly here in Kanaka. Please bring your ledgers to my office. Esteban wishes to examine them. Best Tan Wen. Let's see. Polite reminder, clerks, please reset the coin counter when the day's accounting is complete. It throws off our tallies if the counter is set high. Best, Pilar. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure why they eventually just self-destruct. Appointment this afternoon. Appointment Claretta Devons. Vault tour 2:15 p.m. Items: 2 authentic Sokolovs, heritage silver, maritime investments, etc. Private box. Note: fond of blue-jawed hagfish eggs. Note to Anselma. Dear Anselma, I know the first day on the job can be trying, so feel free to ask me any questions. Remember, the code for this door changes, so you have to get a new one from Chief Pena. You can usually find him in the archives. Once you have the code, speak the numbers clearly into the microphone and wait for the lock to release. I'll come by at noon and take you to my favorite restaurant. Most of us security guards go there for lunch. The food's terrible, but it keeps our interest low. There's a little bank humor for you. See you later, Martin. So now we have to go down into the basement. But before we do that, we're gonna deal with this guy. Oh.
What?
So as you can probably guess, we don't really want to step on that floor.
Primary Michael's account and a set of Sibylla cooking knives. Join today.
I'm not a fan of how close we have to get to it.
Attention guards. Our port sentinel is detected by application of Decree 12B-00.
Now I know there is
Sentinels represent a single aspect security
a
measures.
civilian in here. I don't want to accidentally have him killed. So let's put this as far away as possible.
The Clockwork Sentinel is inspecting the room. You have nothing to worry about if you're a registered client.
I thought I thought it was about to just run out and kill him. Like all my work saving the poor man, and then you just... So let's not accidentally... I know that over here there is some wire. I think that was the only thing up here. And he has the codes, and he also is... let's see what it was. He's... seems he's buying flowers for someone, hyacinths, but he's not sure if they're allergic. He is also buying sparkling fig wine, an audiograph by Shan Yun, and candles.
This is what I needed.
Okay, so then we were in here. As you can see, there is a...
Active search protocols. Michael's bank is verified secure.
Oh, hold up. You self-destruct eventually. Where did you go? Just didn't want you to explode over by this human.
Starting a commercial venture? Michael's an associate.
Okay, you're
No.
inside. Where can I... If only you knew how much effort I'm going through to save you, buddy. Hopefully. Robot won't go over here. I think that was the bot exploding. Here we go. As you can see, there's a contract in here. The contract is, of course, the rags to riches to rags. It talks about how someone bragging about they only had 315 coin to their name, hint, and they had a lockbox next to a journalist, and of course in one of the previous missions we met Christopher George, so we know that should be this one. There we go. And then over here we had Luigi Galvani's box, and of course we had the whole letter of him talking about his code is the most important day in his life. So then we could go and look at the lore, which includes Dr. Galvani's memoirs, and it says the 28th day of the month of a high cold. So then we just put this in. Then we just kept going until... There we go. On Birdie the Bird. I caught Birdie, as we came to call him, on one of those ill-fated expeditions to Pandyssia, which I and a few others attempted from time to time to follow in the footsteps of the great Sokolov. The birds assemble in great flocks and nest in cliff sides. He had flown too close to our ship, and so one of the sailors snared him with a well-thrown net, and we managed to cage him. He was the first of his species to reach Bristolian shores. He caused a stir in the popular imagination when I first displayed him. I did a circuit of public lectures on Pandyssia fauna, and each theater was packed with people hopeful for a glimpse of my little bird. I heard from some friends that Birdie even featured in some children's literature, with fanciful illustrations. After a time, Birdie grew quite tame. He would even accept grapes from my hand. Sadly, he died after just a few short years. But he inspired a passion for Pandyssian birds, egg collecting, and taxidermy. I had him stuffed, and occasionally I charged a small fee to allow viewers to see him. He will always hold a special place in my heart. So that left us with these two. Now, I don't know if there's a hint somewhere how to figure this out, so what I did the first time was I just did this. I just kept going. And eventually got up to 360, maybe? 370? Either that or lower. Nope. Again, I don't know if there's a hint somewhere and I missed it and I didn't realize it, but I just did the old-fashioned way, one number at a time. Lucky it wasn't 800 something. Journalist Lockbox Notes. Research for Jacoby article. I started this search for answers on the behest of Lucia Pastor. She came to my office with concerns about the alarming number of illegal foreclosures made by Michael's bank recently and asked me to investigate. I never suspected that a simple quest to uncover bank fraud would instead put me on the trail of a cold-blooded murderer. Interview with Teresia Cienfuegos. I interviewed Teresia Cienfuegos today at Michael's bank's foreclosure about Michael's bank's foreclosure on the family pharmacy. She provided my first major clue. Her father's account books contained puzzling entries for syringes, blood transfusion equipment, and large amounts of his homemade poppy tincture sedative. Shipments of these items were sent to the Spectre Club without her knowledge, and guess who was receiving them? Administrator Ivan Jacoby. What could he need with quantities of blood transfusion items? This matter bears further investigation. Interview with Ned Tamron. I stopped by the Spectre Club this evening to interview some of its elite patrons. Most were too drunk to give me any useful information, but one Ned Tamron laughingly described a sanguine infusion, house specialty. Its chief ingredient is rumored to be human blood. Suddenly the pieces all fit together. Cienfuegos' bloodless corpse, the transfusion equipment, Jacoby's patronage of the Spectre. I know he's behind the recent exsanguination murders. There must be evidence that ties him directly to Cienfuegos' death. If only I could find it. I have to keep investigating until I do. I can't trust until I expose Jacoby for the monster he is. And so, after it took quite a while to figure out how to do this one, I was like, oh, well, the next one doesn't even have a name on it. How? I have to do this all over again. Turns out, no, this one isn't locked, so. So now we go to security.
Hey, wake up. I need you to let me in.
I forgot we were up here earlier and killed her.
Outsider's eyes. If Pena caught me sleeping on the job, he'd make me run the shop floor. May I have the code, please?
It's B15D.
Swordfish.
Now let me in.
Okay. Come on in. And I'd appreciate it if you didn't tell Chief Pena about my tension lapse.
Don't worry, I won't tell him anything, because he wouldn't hear it. Because someone killed him.
Everyone gives me a hard time about the codes. I don't make the rules.
No way!
Uh-oh. Well, we got there in the end. So there's those clockwork soldiers over here, which I don't want to alarm. And I also know that there are two civilians.
There's license being cast out. Someone is listening too well.
Clearly we can't go this way. Can't do, let's go this way. So the civilians are over here somewhere. I don't remember which lockers have loot in them. Didn't even see those. Oh, I thought it said locker code, and I was like, what? It just said locker closed. So there's one civilian. So as you'll see, we can't walk here, but we can do this. Oh yes, I did had to stop and really look at the mouse button so I didn't accidentally. Don't throw it. Here's the last civilian. He wasn't here when I did it the first time. He was way back. Or like in the first room where we opened the door. See, that's why I killed this guy. Because safe this way. Go all the way up. There's a hole in the roof. Or ceiling. See, when I did this the first
I'm
time,
here to steal all your secrets, Dolores.
I went over and activated or rewired the Clockwork Soldier, who then killed her, but also the civilian. Which wasn't what I wanted. So let's leave the Clockwork Soldier alone.
All that security and I still got to you, Dolores.
About the missing documents. Dolores, I've resolved our little problem. The pharmacist has gone where he'll trouble us no more. Unfortunately, he left behind a bloody mess. The documents he stole from you are still missing. I've ransacked his home and his shop, but found nothing. I even went to his stray little artist Garrett, but the documents weren't buried in that jumble either. Rumor at the Spectre says Cienfuegos sent an archive to someone at the Royal Conservatory. What do you bet that the archive contains your documents? I leave the task of retrieving it in your capable hands. Best, Ivan. See, as you can hear, there's something behind this. I wasn't sure how on earth I was going to, like, I've been here and loot stuff, but how on earth could I open that? And so I used my powers, and I noticed this wire that goes to a massive button that I completely missed. Which is somewhat also, I probably shouldn't be walking on. Hold up, let me do this so I don't accidentally. I don't know if walking around wakes up Clockwork, but let's not risk it. Progress with Jindosh's safe. Director Michaels, I've discovered a way to open Jindosh's private safe in the vault. I had concentrated on opening only his box number 1, but that approach was misguided, nowhere near clever enough for the grand inventor's diabolical intellect. If my suspicions are correct, entering the correct 15-digit code into each safe will open all the secure boxes at once, including Jindosh's. Then you may empty it for use by other clients. Please come by my workroom so I can show you my progress with the code. Mrs. Campos moved me to the top floor of the lobby, by the stairs. Leon. Before we go and do that, let's... I think there was something... Reminder from Pena. Guards, don't summon Director Michaels over the PA system without an authorization code. You know she's a stickler for proper protocol. If you can't remember the codes, find me. I carry the code list with me for safekeeping. Call Michaels without a code and I'll dismiss you so fast that your head will spin like a crystal weather vane. Got it? So presumably we could use that microphone to call her out of the office, go in, do all the stuffs, and leave without...
Oh. Like to keep your secrets right where you can see them, don't you, Dolores? A mining camp in the mountain? But it's not right. It's been changed by the Void. It doesn't exist. Or shouldn't.
Invitation for Dolores Michaels. Dolores Michaels, know that your dedication has not gone unnoticed. We have conferred and agreed that you will be among the next selected to join us in our seclusion and communion. It will be wise to begin whatever preparations are necessary to divest yourself of your attachments in Karnaca. The possessions and connections you have in this life will not be permitted here. We will contact you again in due course. Enclosed with this letter are several documents. I trust them to your care. Study them with devotion and protect them with your life. May the Eye watch over you. Dolores Michaels' Journal, 10th day, month of Timber. Another day of smiling at these wealthy fools and taking their treasures. I wonder how they'd feel if they knew their shabby little family heirlooms don't interest me. No, I seek a far greater prize, a jewel of immeasurable worth, immortality. From the moment I first learned of the cult's great secret, I knew I must have it. Everything I once valued, wealth, power, influence, it all faded to insignificance. What material possessions can compare to eternal life? And if having it means I must live in some filthy mine worshipping black stones with gullible fools, then so be it. A small price to pay for such rich reward, to stare down the unblinking eye of time itself, to laugh down the centuries as the wealth of the Isles falls to dust around me. That's the only treasure worth having. 10th day, month of Timber. I'm not sure why the dates are the same. Before I can seize my immortality, I must deal with the mess Cienfuegos created. Outside to take that traitor. The cult can never know that he stole the documents they entrusted to me. If the information about the secret void entrance fell into the wrong hands, it would destroy everything. My plans would be ruined. No, I won't let that happen. Those oracular sisters have closed off the Royal Conservatory, but that's a minor obstacle. As I know well, there's always a way past the most secure defenses. I just need to think of it.
Good. I have the vault key. What else is she hiding? They know a way into the void. Cienfuegos sent Isla's documents to the Royal Conservatory. I need to find out what he knew. The conservatory is my next step.
Also, there's an address book here. I don't know what to do with this information, but now we have it. Is this new? No. No, because we used his memoirs down in the basement. Thought maybe it was another chapter or something.
They won't know what's missing until it's too late. 2 locks. This has to be the one.
You and I were both abandoned to uncertain futures on dangerous streets and taken in by murderers. Daud spared your life all those years ago, but I was taught a lesson that you still haven't learned. Some wounds stay with you, even in the void.
Give it to me. I don't have time for this.
Time repeats the same unending patterns. 4,000 years ago, this knife cut my name away. Forgotten forever. You know what it's like to lose one name and live with another. We are all made by the things that are taken from us.
I've seen the people you've twisted with your poisonous magic. You know what I want. You know I'm coming for you.
I know more than most. I know that time is bleeding into itself around you. I know that you have felt it, and you are searching for the places where the world has broken against the void. I know that Daud is dead where you left him on your ruined ship.
Spoiler.
And you will carry that knife with you to face me at the black center of all things.
Why are you doing this? Why are you talking to me now?
I'm here because you are different. The void has found you through the cracks in your broken life. And when you cut me out of it, what will remain? What will you leave behind when you walk away?
What does the outsider want from me? Daud, is he really gone? I have the knife. I need to get back to the Dreadful Whale.
But first, we need to get all the loot. So we had already seen the blackboard in the downstairs where he wrote all the numbers, and also we got the progress with Jindosh's safe. So we were just starting to like enter them here. So 0 plus 1 is 1. You can hear the click of it working. 1 plus 1 is 2. and 2 plus 1 is 3, and 3 plus 2 is 5, and 3 plus 5 is 8, and 8 plus 5 is 13. And then we come to this little issue. So I went, okay, 13 plus 8, that's 21. Then 21 plus 13 is 34. So I put in 3 and nothing. It didn't click, like there was no ka-chunk. It turns out, in order to progress, you have to imagine putting these numbers into this one. So you'd put in 2, 1, 3. So that would be, then the 21 plus 13 would be 34. So 3 there, and then 4 here. And then 34 plus 21, 55. And there it goes. So 55 plus 34 is 89. Then we don't even have to do any more math, because we can just do... Oh, did I do it too quickly? There we go. And they're all open. Note on Clockwork Allegiance. There is an uncomplicated grace to my machines, which few in the Isles appreciate. That is not to say they are simple. My clockwork soldiers are not simple. Oh no. The complexity is beyond the comprehension of the patrons who purchase them for their salons, well beyond that of the Duke and his Grand Guard, and beyond those small-minded imbeciles at the Academy of Natural Philosophy. I am rightly praised for the intricacy of their design, but at once I recognize that they are infinitely more simple than schemers who sing praises from one side of their mouth while muttering curses with the other. No, I could never abide duplicity. Barring sabotage, or barring sabotage, my clockwork soldiers know friend from foe and will never confuse the two. And should one of my cloying clients, having purchased one of my clockwork soldiers, try to turn against me once they have the power of my greatest creation at their disposal, they will swiftly learn what true integrity is. All of my clockwork soldiers respond to the spoken code GIN 469-000 IFF and realign their allegiance with the speaker. I alone know this sequence, and it will be locked away for all time. My machines will never be used against me. That is their inestimable beauty. Tactical mimicry. Semblance can be used to briefly blind enemies in combat. The Heart of the Abyss. Excerpt from a work of theater, banned by the Abbey on heretical grounds. The Stranger, smirking insidiously. My dear Corvid, totally not Corvo, and you're totally not the outsider. This isn't to avoid any copyright infringement. I've been watching you for a long time, or to not have to pay royalties to Corvo's life story. When you fight, when you sleep, when you bathe. Now you've lost it all. Corvid, shocked and confused. Who are you? What is this cold and shadowy place? Have I penetrated the stranger's void? The stranger, with a flourish. There are forces in this world, forces some men call magic. Now you can bend them to your will. I am the stranger, and this is my mark. Corvid, studying the back of his hand. Ah, it burns. What is this supernatural gift? The stranger, moving closer. Oh, but I have many more gifts to give. What would you do with them, I wonder? Corvid, admiring the young man. Oh, what pale skin, what piercing gaze. You look more youthful than the legends say. The stranger, caressing his cheek. Let me show you which legends are true. It doesn't specify if he's caressing his own cheek or Corvid's. That should be in the stage direction, should it not? Old diary. Excerpt from pages torn from an old diary dated 1841. She done up one of her bedchambers with velvet and candles. If she had brought in a lamp, it would have looked shabby. But the candles made it eerie. I suppose that was the point. One of her servants must have set up an audiograph to play music behind a curtain, too, because I could hear muffled strings all evening. We sat around the table and held hands and chatted over a little bit of whalebone she had found. It felt stupid, really. I was hoping for more, some thunder or a witch to appear and dance on the table for us. I don't know. But I sensed a present. presence, some restless energy. It's hard to describe. Something was reaching out to me. Maybe it was Mother, but it was upset. Angry almost. It felt like the time I got tangled in weeds at the bottom of the estate district ponds, and Father had to jump in to save me. I didn't tell anyone. I know it was just a silly game, but if we can capture voices in audiograph machines or light with those new silver graphs, then why can't we capture spirits in some kind of machine too? I should talk to Anton. And I believe we've read the Child Empress before. Oh. Speculations on the Afterlife. Except from Speculations on the Void by Honoria Casello. If all spirits vanish into the void upon their demise, then when are the wandering ones? Why then are the wandering ones from folk tales and legends always unhappy? Where are the tranquil and benevolent spirits? Do they not linger in the void like their darker counterparts? I think not. Those who led virtuous lives receive the gift of oblivion upon passing. They dissolve into the void like mist, casting off the wearisome shackles of mortal identity to become one with the foundational materials. Wicked spirits, however, earn a cruel fate. Their punishment is to wander the void for eternity, unable to return to this world and contact loved ones. They retain only memory enough to suffer. Imagine their pain, drifting through empty expanse, alone for centuries. No sensation, no solace, no redemption. An unmoored spirit gasping with regret in a sea of nothingness, forever. No. Oh, Void Strike. So I think this new ability means we can smash doors. And we can make bone charms. Which I guess we should, at some point, recycle all the ones that we use into making a single bone charm with all 4 abilities. Oh, strong power. Is yeah, it has to be because that's -1. Now we're almost up to where I left off. So I'm gonna run this video a bit longer than usual, just so we get all of the stuff in one. So we can start fresh.
It'll be a mess when they
next
find
time.
out what I've done. But until then, nothing but quiet.
Maybe I should just work a double shift, so I don't have to listen to him tell me about how good it was under the Duke's father.
We need the note from this card. Ooh, I did not mean to jump. I'm gonna read it when we escape. There we go. It wasn't there, it's here. Thomasina's birthday. Gabriel, quick note to remind you that it's Thomasina's birthday today. You already forgot last time, so you best get your hands on some of that fancy Zirconian wine or a nice bouquet of marigolds if you want to keep her interested. Or interested. You know how many suitors she has, and just how sly they can be. Your friend Boyd, which I'm guessing it's one of the suitors who gave us this contract, because it's all about... No, that one. I saw a note and I assumed. What was it we failed on this one? Oh, right, that was in the beginning. It all went wrong. So yeah, we got that one, and now all we have to do is get out of here. And you're about to find out.
If I hear anything more, sincerely, me.
What the issue with the boat quest was. Unless it's fixed itself, which would be but
Under she goes.
should have gone the other way around. We go this way. Guarding the Camellia. I need a guard for the Camellia. Some villain broke in and killed my poor brave hounds. My friend says I can trust you. If you guard my shop and keep lowlifes away, I'll pay you good coin. Here's the key. Don't know if there's anything in here that we need.
Smoke in coughing clouds. High houses crumble, spark and flame. She watches, screams alarm with others. Hides tender in her fist.
Not doing that again anytime soon.
I was just curious if we could get a second tattoo. Oh. Okay, so here was my issue. As we noted the first time, we needed a key to open this. Do you see that part of a person there? And what looks like a shining key? Yeah, I think that's why we can't do this. Because he somehow got into the ship and now he's just dead there and I can't get to him. So, yeah, I don't think we can actually do that. What is it called? Contract, not job, contract. Zero civilians killed, excellent. Alarms rung. 0, excellent. Yeah, we missed a lot. And a ton of coin and also a whole lot of paintings. Or the stolen archive. Eleuterio Cienfuegos, an ex-member of the Isles, stole important documents about how to enter the void and sent them to the Royal Conservatory. Make your way inside and look for the stolen archive.
I watched the fires burn all night. Smoke blocking out the stars. Water hissing as the hull of my old ship blackened around his body. Daud, gone at last. How many tried to kill you and came no closer than I did all those years ago? How much coin was on your head, old man? Now no one but the Void can collect. For years, I imagined the outsider offering me his mark. Instead, he's given me the knife that made him. A weapon that can surely unmake him as well. I can't begin to understand his motives, but I know what Daud wanted. And if he's got to wander the void forever, maybe I can give him some measure of peace by ending this. As the dreadful whale burned to cinders, did the outsider laugh or just watch? Same as me. It's as fine a pyre as I could make. Farewell, Daud. I'll finish what you started. I had that ship for years, and it burned away in hours. Daud is dead, and Megan Foster died with him. One of the Eyeless, a painter and pharmacist, stole information about how to enter the void. His name was Cienfuegos, and he was obsessed, just like the rest of them. But he went too far. Before the Eyeless killed him, he sent what he'd stolen to the curator of the Royal Conservatory. Maybe she could have helped him. He never found that out. The curator is gone, but whatever Cienfuegos sent her is still there. The Abbey of the Everyman has taken over. They've sent overseers and oracular sisters to search the place for heresy. I need to find whatever's left of the pharmacist's archive before they tear the conservatory apart.